Hi everyone, today we're in San Francisco, home of many different scooter companies, and we're going to take a look at the Scoot scooter today. The first thing to note is that these scooters seem to be equipped with airless tires. See these grooves? Those help with shock absorption. They help the rubber kind of give a little bit when the rider is riding without needing air, so without needing to be pumped, without flats, without puncture issues. So, you know, if a nail goes into that thing, it doesn't make the entire wheel unusable. Other things to note, this scooter is equipped with a lock. So it is basically a semi-dockless. So the lock helps it with vandalism or any unwanted, throwing of scooters into rivers. But it still allows users to take this anywhere and lock it almost anywhere without the need to find a specific docking station. One other thing to note, it looks like these scooters are equipped with headlights, which is great. So we're gonna give this a test ride and see how we like it. So took it out for a quick spin. First thing that happened is the motor did not engage. The throttle didn't work, the motor didn't engage, and I had to manually ride the scooter for half a block until I realized, yeah, this is not gonna work. I tried it a few times, a few kicks, a few throttle. Even though the app said that the battery was full, this unit maybe is defective, I'm not sure. A few other things that I noticed. So I really wanted to ride this at full speed with the motor engaged to get a sense if these airless tires give a good cushion as much as air tires do, because oftentimes these airless tires are still quite solid and don't have the give that air tires do. But I wasn't able to go full speed and wasn't quite sure how much they affected the quality of the ride, the comfort of the ride. However, I did notice that this has a rear suspension, which did help a lot, even at low speeds. Over small bumps, I noticed that it gave a lot, it had a lot of give. That helped with ride comfort a lot. So airless tires, still jury's out on that, if that adds to ride comfort, but the rear suspension I really, really liked. A few other things I noticed when I unlocked this from the bike stand, it was really easy because I scanned the QR code and then I heard the bike or the scooter unlock, and the app itself said that it was ready to unlock. So you pretty much just do this. When you're riding, you put the lock back in. There's kind of a magnet that helps this keep it in place. The only thing I would say is that this magnet is quite weak, it's quite weak. So I can imagine going at full speed over a bump, would this kind of stay in place? Perhaps a suggestion would be to keep this locked during a ride, and then when you tell the app that you're done, it could unlock so that you could lock it to something else. So basically something to keep this attached more firmly during a ride, especially with the electric boost. Another thing I noticed, safety issue. This has a bell, which is great, but as you can see, it's kind of far. The reason for that is it moves, and that's not a feature. It's a bug. So this helps with pedestrian safety. The bell does, but if you can't use it, it deters from safety. An easy fix would be to bolt this down to the bar. The last thing I noticed was that the scooter is quite light, so it was really easy to maneuver on sidewalks, off of sidewalks. When you're not actually riding and you need to lift it, it was really easy to maneuver it. Okay, so the whole reason why the scooter wasn't seem to be working, why the throttle wasn't activating the motor, was that I hadn't properly put the lock back into this lock. So the thing I said before of it would be nice if you could put the lock back in and it would click so that it wouldn't come out during a ride. That is actually a requirement to ride this thing. So I hadn't inserted it all the way in and it hadn't locked, so the scooter actually hadn't activated. So it was basically holding the scooter for me, reserving the scooter, saying, "Hey, are you gonna ride me? Are you gonna ride me now?" So the scooter actually works. The bike actually, the lock actually locks itself during a ride. And we can actually see the light has been activated as well. So it's not dark, so I don't know how bright this light actually is, but it's helpful that there is a light so that at least cars can see you. So the scooter works. I tested it out around the block, and it was pretty comfortable. Again, the comfort seemed to come mostly from this rear suspension. I think the airless tires did help a little bit, but I didn't feel all of that much suspension from those air tires. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is overall the ride felt smooth. There was no jitteriness on the asphalt, you know, the kind of crinkliness that you can feel with zero suspension. That was completely gone. That was very smooth. Bumps I did feel, but I think that's the point of these airless tires, is to smooth out the ride in general, not to eliminate all bumps. The other thing I noticed was that San Francisco is, quite hilly, and I didn't do any of the big famous hills, but even on very smooth inclines, the scooter seemed to slow down. So it's like all other scooters kind of in this class, it's slightly underpowered, which is, I guess, okay. It's a fairly inexpensive mode of transportation. Reducing your speed a few miles per hour isn't the worst thing, but I could see if you do live in a hilly area, you would pretty much have to kick and activate the motor at the same time. Might be a little bit of trouble. But yeah, otherwise it was a good ride. It was a smooth ride, and I had a lot of fun. And this was the review of the scooter.